What are we here to do? Hold on real quick. What are we here to do? All right. We're going to deal with some energy that I probably won't like, so you might not like it either. But it's important for us to understand divine will is at play. We are more than well equipped. We're strong. And it's, I mean, in the end, it does affect the thing that matters to us, the one thing that most of us have never quite attained, which we understand now is because we're twin flames. So, of course, we would never feel that exact, specific, particular spark with the wrong person, you know? So it's like the one thing, everything else is within our control, but this, no. Okay, so hold on. Why right this second? Because there's something coming up. Yeah. I mean, quite literally, we've got souls ascending, but we've got something coming up. Yo. Y'all, I hate to say this, but it almost feels like the past is being purged once and for all, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what the hell does that mean? You know, you know what I mean? Like, what does that mean? What? I don't like it. Okay. We need to understand something that we've been missing, something that is returning from 7 years ago. 7 years ago. What about 7 years ago? Whoa, man. The stars, but there's something, the stars are falling. I'm seeing the great fall, fallen angels. We need to understand that there is something happening with our person, but also with us. We were in the wrong place. It's not that we picked the wrong place. We went where we were supposed to go. We went where divine instructed us. But it turns out the place we thought divine instructed us, for some reason we all thought that was it or something. We all thought that's where we were supposed to be, divine masculines included. Wherever they've been the last 7 years, I know it might be challenging to pinpoint. So maybe look big picture, like overall, what's the energy? What's the main thing? What's the main problem been? What's the main prayer? Like whatever it is. We all believed it. We all were like, oh, man, of all the paths that you would put me on. But we did not see that divine was in there. Divine had, oh, what's a bogey? I just heard there's a bogey in the wings, or on the wing. Bogey in the mix, bogey on the wings. What the fuck does that mean? There was something in there, like a Trojan horse energy inside of the darkness, though. And the Trojan horse was actually the light. I mean, this is really deep. Okay, so divine wants us to know that our backs have been had, and we might not see it that way right now. And the divine masculines definitely don't see it that way right now. Whoa. Okay. There will be no more delays. That's what the previous season was about. The previous season was about holding people back to prepare for now. But there's a bogey in the wings, friends. I don't know what the hell that means. Should I look it up? Probably means nothing, right? Bogey? Bogey isn't that golf, right? Yeah? No. A rail. Whoa. An undercarriage with 4 or 6 wheels pivoted beneath the end of a railroad car. Whoa. It's making me think travel, which this is a travel card too. Bogey in the Bogey in the wire? What does that mean? Is that a person? No, that's not what I'm talking about. Okay. Bogey, it's W came up, so I was like, hold on, but let me look this up. Oh, wait, bogey in the wing meaning. What is this is a thing? Wait, this is a thing. Bogey in the wing refers to an unidentified aircraft. See, travel. See? Oh my gosh, Divine is up to something. An unidentified aircraft that has been detected on radar, but its identity or intentions are unknown, potentially posing a threat. Whoa. And whoa. Bro, I'm blown right now. Okay, so Divine is trying to let us know that what we think is an enemy is actually, or what we thought, because remember, it's not supposed to be there, right? We thought we knew the path. It's not supposed to be there. And when the bad stuff started to happen, it was just like, no, I told Divine that I was going to stay the path. Even the Divine Masculine, some of them more than we realize, had like decided to pick a hard road and just stick with it. Had decided to settle and just settle. Like, oh man, I just had a wave of like a bunch of people lately whose DMs just settled in the last 7 years. Oh, okay. So we think that whole time, they think that whole time, I'm where I'm supposed to be, and now there's some extra thing that's not supposed to be here, and it's like feeling like you're being followed, feeling like there's something hovering over your bed, only to realize later when Divine comes and reveals themselves and the energy is so familiar that it was an angel the whole time. The whole time. The whole time. Okay. Wow. Something is up. Oh, man. I hope this reaches people. It says there's only 48 people here, and it said that since I started, which I'm really glad there are people. But still, this message, it feels like it's going to be really big. Okay, Grace, relax. Back in the flow. Come on. Because I'm getting sleepy. The moment I take myself out of it, it's like, bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. All right. There's a bogey in the wing. Or so we think. Matter of fact, we might even be ready. Oh my gosh, it's right here. It's right here. Pew, 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 pew. 7 stars. There's a bogey. It's clearly the biggest, brightest, most beautiful one. It's the one that we're all based of. It's our divine creator, right? But for some reason, we haven't felt like we're in the garden. we felt like we are at war. But it was there the whole time. It's that footprints in the sand metaphor coming through. It's so beautiful. But we almost shot it down. What did you shoot down? And really, what did the DM shoot down? Now, I'm kind of hoping that the DM shot down reunion, because wouldn't that be kind of cool? Like, Divine just, like, kept the energy of reunion in their life, like, the whole time, no matter how, like, much they ran away or tried to settle, blah, 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 whatever they did, it doesn't matter. Wouldn't that be kind of like, But you know what? Maybe, there is something else. Something that is going to get them to reunion, right? And that kind of was, if I'm not mistaken, that was the message we heard first. Man, okay. So I just want to make sure that I understand this, because everything that comes after this feels kind of like an important little stack, Okay, I'm being told, look here. Look here at the King of Wands. No, leave it here. Ah. This is where I first felt the presence of a message or something. I said, what is it? Now we're getting the 8 of Wands letting us know delays are over, but I think also trying to call our attention to the situation. It does give me a very strong sense of, this is our divine masculine. This is us. The star is the presence, right? Looking over your shoulder. You're doing what Divine said. Divine said, take the water and pour. Don't scoop, just pick up empty pails and pour. And water started flowing. And Divine said, make a new river. And you made a new river. And you didn't know why. You didn't know what you were doing. But as you kept moving along, this is just one moment, and as you keep moving along and creating this river, you don't realize that you are creating a moat, a boundary around the kingdom that you're about to build. Yo, this is getting okay. So the delays are over. The last 7 years, and for some it's 8 or going on, right? Not under 7, go more. It seems like it's leaning the other direction, okay? This is the 8th year, is what I should say. The 7 before this. Okay, okay. We need to understand that something we shot down, something we thought was impossible, and I don't think I'm just saying something we thought was impossible right now, like, oh, not this year. I think it's something we thought it was done. We thought it was over. We thought we had to just get rid of it. What is Divine trying to tell us about that? Honey, I'm telling you, you're the bogey in the wing. Now, hold on, before you, hold on, come back, because I know the light worker stuff is going to get you like, oh, Grace, get back to the message, but you need to realize something. You and your person are both light workers. You can be the reluctant prophet or the spy who tries to go live the normal life. You can do all the things, but it's not going to work. And all along your path, you're going to be used to transmute, to transfigure, to transmogrify. You're going to do things that only you could do. That's why you're here. That's why you're you. So is your person, even in their unawakened state, which is pretty phenomenal, but also very frustrating because it can lead us to feel confusion when we feel their power flowing. You're the bogey in the wings. Now, this is what's interesting, is this almost tells me that the angel floating over your shoulders is your higher self. Oh, bro, I'm about to have a fucking panic attack if I don't. You know it's real when it hits me as hard as it hits you, because it's like a collective, like, what's up? Let's go. So you thought that really probably something that's related to your main purpose was done for. And can I ask you how your soul felt after that? How have you really felt when you let that go? What was it? I mean, you don't have to tell us, because I think that this is important. But for some of you, it's like, no, I can share this. There are so many people who find our channel and they say, where have you been for years? You have the opportunity to help people catch up by sharing those, boom, just those gems that I drop, that then you have gems within you that you start dropping. Drop them, because for some reason we have been called out of the night. Like, wake up, rise up. I have something to share with you, something that you need to know. We ride at dawn type shit. Are you ready? Okay. Delays are over. There was a bogey in the wings. Your own purpose, your own soul, DM, their own soul purpose and divine path became an enemy to them. They didn't even know it, but they were afraid of it because it was so big and so powerful. You did as you were told. They couldn't give up the past. They couldn't surrender. And we lived like that for a long time. Then it would appear that a tower moment, one of the biggest ones yet, and what's really messed up is that most of us experience the tower moment separately. That's the weird part. That's bizarre. Which could say that the pain of the feeling of loss or not being together or whatever, that was just one part of this. But you also had to experience your own individual pains and losses. But I will say, Divine Feminine, your crown never fell off. Because you're a queen like that. Duh. However, I don't think the DM ever had theirs. I don't think they really wanted to wear it right. I think they were too willing to take it off and go use the divine power they'd been given for the wrong things. And that's why the journey has been so damn bumpy for so many of us. Bruh, no more. The last 7 years was about a purging. This year has felt, and it's been since last year, it's been since late last year. If you've been feeling okay, if you've been feeling good, there could be a reason that you've been spared. There could be a short period or that might be coming, that's a couple days or something, but you heard this and you get spared because of it. You could have gone through something the last 6-7 months that your trauma has just told you it's normal, so you're downplaying. I don't know, but everyone I've talked to, if I say what's been going on since end of October, early November, they go, "Oh, Grace, how'd you know?" And I'm like, I don't know. I'm asking you because everybody I ask keeps saying, yeah, 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 yeah. That's when it started. The beauty is we're coming up in a couple months here soon on the birthing pain of that. So I do wonder what right now we're being told to be aware of. Because for some reason, we're now being unleashed. Divine masculine is being unleashed into their true path. What are we missing about this? What are we not understanding about this weird, like almost uncomfortable lurking energy that we have with our own nature, our own self? And it's not just DMs this time. Us too. Why did we so willingly accept the idea that whatever we were doing, whatever we resigned ourselves to, or whatever, I don't know. I can't think for everybody, right? But it's like, what is it that we just were like, oh, yep, I guess this is it. Why did we do that? We don't believe in that kind of what? We're not trying to be completely fantastical and romantical all the time, but damn, like dreaming is beautiful. It's not just about having a fantasy. It's about having hope. What the just happened to us? That was the test. That was the main test for us. What are we missing about what we're about to be unleashed into at a point where we definitely weren't expecting it? Okay. Ooh! Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So instead of it being a lurking over your shoulder, instead of you wearing it like a garment, kind of trying to embrace it, it's everywhere. Your royal kingdom is being established. The moat is almost finished, divine feminine. The work that you've done in the past 8 years, including up until right now, oh my gosh, you guys, that's the turning point. 2016. Oh no, Grace, see, you can't do this. You'll lose everybody. Oh my gosh, you guys, this is nuts. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out. In 2016, there was a turning point. The year before 2017, when we started the 7-year cycle, we're in a new 7-year cycle now, okay? But the year before, in 2016, that was the turning point. And it was the turning point. It was like the second turn of a Fibonacci spiral, okay? So we had a turning point actually like right before it. Think about the Fibonacci spiral. It starts off small and then it turns. And then it turns again, right? Or is it multiple? I mean, it can keep going, right? Because it's about that. It's not fractal, or is it? Whatever. But it's about that. You get what I'm saying, right? If you've ever been able to see that image. So the whole point is that every time it turns, it gets bigger. And it turns and it gets bigger. And it turns to expand. Oh my gosh. Okay, Grace. Okay. That energy's back. That's what you've been in. And if you think about it, if you really, really think about the common themes, the common denominator of everything you've experienced just in 2025, you don't even have to, if you're struggling to be like, what was going around like Thanksgiving time and Christmas time? What was I doing back then in the holidays? Don't worry about that. How's 2025 been? Your brain has already started to calculate and tabulate what the fuck this year's been for you. Be real. Where's the challenges? Where's the frustrations? Where's the parts of you that are kind of wondering, how is it possible that I've ended up back here, whether it's energetically or within myself? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Or even with your person, maybe even feeling like this real deep, true lack of hope, but also not really trusting that, but kind of, again, kind of telling yourself, I just got to keep it pushing and just, y'all, I feel like there's going to be people who are like, can she finish a sentence? But I also feel like there's going to be people who are like, yep, 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 yep. Oh my gosh, y'all. Okay. Your kingdom, all the work you did, all the healing that you did, not only will ensure that you never go the wrong way again, but that you also understand the nature of the pivot more than ever before. Because once divine takes you higher to the mountain and gives you the aerial view of what you were just doing, see, you thought you were just absent-mindedly pouring. Divine didn't give you any specifics, right? Just pick up the 2 containers and pour. It's going to pour out from inside you. And you were like that. You started to think about it almost like in the sense of like blood, right? Like I'm going to bleed out. I can't. What am I pouring? You just keep pouring. Don't scoop any. Okay, just pour from in me. Where is it coming from? You just don't understand. And you're just going in a big ass circle for 7 years. And you're like, I don't know. Okay. You want me? Okay. That's been life. Just every so often you look up like I'm doing it. Okay. I'm doing it. Okay. It's like the elder who doesn't want to tell you the process. They just want to say wax on, wax off. Pick up the bucket, put down the mop, put your jacket on, take it off. And all of a sudden you're like, I know karate. Okay, again, that's not realistic. And yet, why do they always do it like that? Why? Because that's the divine way. They understand the power of the progress and the process. Divine has done something to you through what you just went through that cannot be taken from you, which truly is one of your biggest fears. Divine has taught you how to do something from a divine perspective, which in the human capacity isn't great, right? That's a little bit difficult. But if divine can show you the exact parameters to live by, the process of it, you can at least put yourself in the alignment of divine and be in that place. That's what you've learned. And that's not something you can learn just by someone telling you in one reading or teaching you in a course, or for 1 year you read all the books on one subject. It doesn't work like that. It's experience. It is pain. It is birthing. It is labor intensive, and you have fucking done it. Your divine masculine, I don't know. I don't know exactly what part of this they are, because it kind of seems like we both get this seat of justice, but it's going to be handling opposite things. Handling logic, handling love, and then there's the balance. Yet we will have our own balance of love and logic within each individual, right? But there's something about this kingdom that this was the only way for us as divine feminines, this particular process of the pouring and the building of the river, to where, again, when we go to the mountain, we see we have this huge dominion now. We've established ourselves in something that no one can cross. It's holy waters. Whew. Oh my gosh, I don't know why, but I just heard the ancestors, the raising of the ancestors. I heard someone stole the land. Oh my gosh, hold on, something's coming through. What? Someone stole the land, but they don't want the land if it's flooded. They can't do anything with it. And so they're going to give up the land, and the water is going to be the birthing. Oh, water is the birthing medium. Whoa, the water is going to be the birthing medium to pull. Whoa, okay. So spiritually, you made this moat. You thought you were making a river, and you did. It's so gigantic though, and it kind of connects to itself. that it's a moat, and yet it flows with holy living waters. And so it's kind of a river because it came out of your belly. Oh, belly, pregnancy. See what I'm saying? There's something going on here. There's something major coming on here. Ooh, okay. So once you built the moat, not only can they not cross it, but they don't even desire it anymore. And at that point, you can return the ancestors to their rightful place or call those out that did not have their soul contract finished, or there's a lot here. It's not just one thing. This, what you have revealed, what you have opened up, and again, it seems to be connected to you. Remember, it's funny that I keep talking about, you want me to pour from me? Just do like this upright, and then just pour them up, and then do it again, like fill them up with my Holy Spirit power. Just, I'm holy, and then pour, and then water's gonna come out. Like, what? I keep talking about it. Where's it coming from? You're birthing your kingdom, and you don't just get to hop on the computer and make your website. You have to go and spiritually, in the depths of your soul, carve out a river from your ancestral spiritual home. I mean, you're like, this is the true depth of the work you've done. That's why you're so tired. Some of you were like, oh, I feel energized more than ever before. Okay, maybe this reading isn't for you, but maybe you just like to argue because it happens all the time when I'm talking about stuff like this. And I feel like we miss our messages when we're like, I'm not claiming tired. What? I'm not asking you to claim it. I'm asking you to be real with yourself. But again, maybe you're not tired. Maybe none of this is resonating for you. I wouldn't recommend sticking through this. This might not be your message, and I don't want you to misconstrue what does come through. But if this is hitting like, yep, your divine masculine has done a similar process to this. But where divine had you go around, maybe divine had them go down or up or side to side. I don't know. Maybe divine didn't have them doing anything with the land or the kingdom at all and had them working on something else, because you have enough power to do this on your own. And that's why there's two of you instead of one, because they had to go do something else. This is going to be very important for you to figure out, because this will be the guiding factor that reveals your reunion journey to you. The true path to coming together is when you can see that your person has become a match to your soul, truly, even if they're not there in the physical yet. Their soul cannot just be a mirror. It needs to be a match. It needs to be able to stand beside you. You cannot drag it everywhere with you. Living, breathing, fleshed out, empowered. What did that do for you? That will help you identify it in them. So, we each get a sword, we each get scales, but there's something in me that kind of wonders, is this scales and is this swords? Like, this is us, this is them? When we're talking about the combined energy? I think it is. I don't know why. There's something about this that's giving me birthing. This is giving me protection. Yes, this is very much balanced. The twin, it's the year of the second pillar. Okay. All right. We're definitely in the middle of some sort of new wave prophetic download. Oh man. Oh, I'm going to have to watch this again. Oh, geez. Sorry, that makes me anxious. You guys don't know how. Oh my gosh, I actually think I just got a little bit scared. Oh no, great. You do not know how deep the new wave prophecy goes. Y'all have no idea. If you've listened to it, you know, because you heard it unlock things from your life and give you dates and time. You see? So don't say I didn't warn you. Why are we being shown that divine justice will come through, that the energy that has been surrounding us for so long but felt more like a looming energy has finally revealed itself in the true light? I'm being told, pay attention there. Why? Wow. I mean, I'm talking to y'all about this golden light. I say, pay attention there. And what happens? I'm drawn to the sword energy, which I said is representing divine masculine here for some reason. Then we have the divine feminine imagery of the, with the twins in the back, the beautiful divine feminine in her luxurious background. Like, no one knows this is her life, guys. No one knows that this is who she is. They only see her with her crown. They only, Grace. They only see her with her crown. I remember, I told you, it don't come off if you're in public. But in your private space, you don't wear it. You let your hair down. Or maybe you wear your bonnet. You know, you get it. In your private space, there is some true depth, some longing that you've had, some conversations. It doesn't even sound like frustrated conversations, because remember, there was a part of you that really did kind of give up. That's where you lost your sovereignty. You never stopped being a queen, but you gave up on this idea of this kingdom for some reason, because it's too big, it's too late, it's too far, it's too wide. Isn't that a song from Beyonce? I feel very strongly that divine is saying, the reason why you felt that hopelessness is because that your soul and spirit is wise enough to see someone who acts and behaves the way your person did or does, and know that there is no fucking way that they can be that and you can be this and y'all have something good come from it. It's not balanced. So you've never been wrong to look at them and say, what? Okay, all right. You know what? Maybe we should put the kingdom idea down. Maybe just a nice shack in the woods is okay, because this person is never going to let themselves have anything they deserve, and I am not going to be able to let them go. So I guess I don't get what I deserve either, but at least I'll have love. Bro, I've heard it 1,000 times. I've heard it 1,000,000 times. I've heard it 487 billion, 300. I'm just kidding. The point is, divine feminine, there is some light in your life right now that is trying to get your attention, and it is no longer a looming energy. In fact, this reading is going to make sure that you think back and go, oh snap, oh, maybe it was my guardian angel. Wait, what? Grace said it was me? I'm my own guardian angel? Oh man, well that's not great, because I already feel that way in real life. Wait, oh snap. Okay, did you get it? Okay, cool. Now, so the final message with this, and I think we might just need to keep pulling just like this, just nice clusters. Why are we being shown this? The original message was that there's a bogey in the, okay. Oh, the 10 of Pentacles would make this the bogey. Okay. Again, something we think is an enemy. We often would look at the humble page and see them as an enemy to the abundance of the the 9 of Pentacles and the Kingdom of Pentacles in general, because it's kind of like, what do you really have to offer? Why would I give you something that you can't multiply? But even that comes from a place of fear. A true abundant kingdom wouldn't be afraid to take a chance. Ooh, Grace. Okay, sorry. So, as we've done so much and built so much abundance on our own, as we've come to believe that this sense of loneliness in some ways will never subside, even if we believe we will have our partner, some of us have kind of come to this almost like a sense of duty. Like, I guess this lifetime, it'll be what it is if you don't believe in reunion this lifetime. Or you say, well, if I do believe in reunion this lifetime, then I guess in this lifetime, there'll be kind of like a lower level version of me, or I can't rise to my full potential because they can't. All these lies. And I got to be real with you. I try to get off of the whole, like, y'all need to be careful out here in these tarot streets thing, because people really don't like it. They feel like I'm coming for someone specific. But I would tell you, if I say that and your mind goes to someone that I didn't mention, because I don't watch tarot, so I wouldn't even have a name to give. Okay. I wouldn't know who's doing the wrong or the bad. Normally when people tell me a name, there's so many, I just kind of forget when they're like, oh yeah, so-and-so sold me $1,000 worth of crap, When I say to you, be careful out here in these tarot streets, one small seed can come in and grow up and choke out everything you've built. And a seed like thinking that you can't live up to your full potential because your person doesn't appear to be doing what they're supposed to be doing is a great way to get you to slow down, stall out, and sit into a feeling of inertia, which has been coming up lately. Why is Divine telling you this right now? Why is Divine saying to you, oh, Divine just told me, look at the card, look at the card. Coming off of her, I don't know if it's going to pick up on the camera or not, but if you've got a radiant Rider-Waite, you can see this for yourself. The light around her head is brighter than the light in the distance behind her, just like with the Chariot. I want you to understand it's us. It's us. We light the way. We light the path. And when someone tells us to dim ourselves down, we go, well, I guess this is all I'm going to do. And darkness doesn't have to worry about us because we're self-defeating. They don't even got to fight us. Let's say that for the divine masculines who don't know about some of the grand scheme stuff. Let's not participate in that level of cowardliness because that's truly what it is. They're trying to scare you out of fighting. If divine made you a promise for something and divine never came back and said, just kidding, or you can't have it, but time passed and you just assumed divine wasn't going to give it to you, it probably wasn't an assumption. Somebody probably told you to let it go some way, somehow, telling you not to follow your dreams, telling you that you got to stick to where your DM, just crazy lies. Who benefits from that? The tarot readers obviously do because you just keep giving them money to ask them like, what do I do? But to be honest, that's petty. That's small time. What about the people who are desperate? They don't know what's missing, but they just know there's something they're supposed to know. And when you finally do the thing you're supposed to do and be the person you're supposed to be, blah, 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 whatever it is, whatever the light is, they go, oh my gosh, where have you been? Where have you been all these years? And in some cases you can go, oh, I've had my channel for 7 years. But in some cases you're going to have to go, yeah, I'm sorry. I knew I heard you calling. Why is divine trying to tell you now? I can tell you it's because the energy's there. You're being supported and you've got to work with it. You've got to snap out of whatever's stopping you. But what do you need to know? Oh! The 10 of Wands. You've got to put down the old kingdom. Whatever you thought you were doing, oh man, this is going to be crazy for us. This is going to be crazy for us. See, now a lot of us have been looking at our divine masculine and we're like, yeah, go ahead and drop every single thing you've got going because none of it can stay in my kingdom. We've got that fierceness and sovereignty. Like, I'm not sharing you with anybody. I'm not fighting with old drama. You've got to be done with all that because we have important work to do. And it kind of feels like they can't come tell us that, especially because of all the sacrifices we've made. But some of them are going to have to, because you have now dug into a fake life. Divine told you to be in a holding pattern and you got comfortable. You're supposed to be nomadic for 7 years. You stayed in the first place you landed and never moved. You've got to break it all down. Why? Because there's only enough room in the kingdom for so much. And if you leave up what comes in, you're going to look at what, if you leave up what's already been, you're going to look at what comes in and think, just burn it. We'll use it as firewood. What a lucky break. We got some new firewood. It's like, no, burn the life you had that you don't even like. Okay. Don't be afraid to rebuild. Don't be afraid to start over. Don't be afraid to make a new plan. Don't be afraid to scrap everything. If you just made a plan yesterday, like, Grace, what the hell? I was in bed and I knew I needed to get on here, and here you are at 2 o'clock. It was 1 o'clock in the morning. What in the world is going on here? I just made a plan this week. And honestly, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't want to do any of it, but I didn't think I had a choice. Divine has said, congratulations. Thank you for your obedience. You can put it down now. If it's stressing you out, it's not for you. If it's making you worry, it's not for you. We can take the divine masculine aspect out of that. That's its own problem. Sure, fine. But what else? I'm serious. This is huge. Okay, so now I need to understand the divine masculine side of this because I feel like there's a lot here. Oy vey. Okay, people. Let's do a quick shift. And let's go again. I'm going to grab and we'll just pull from the center here. Okay. Okay. What a weird way to go. Okay. See, y'all, every time I stop, I'm like, ooh. You ever been so tired you get like sick to your stomach, like your body's like, go to bed? Every time I stop now, I'm getting like in my eyes. So we gon' come on, Grace. Okay. Let's start with what we're missing. What we don't know is that the divine masculine's beliefs have changed. They've gotten rid of several core beliefs that have kept them. Whoa. 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 Hold on. Am I tripping? Or do all the Rider Waits have these guys have these? Okay. In the Hierophant here, the two guys that are at the bottom that are like monks or something or altar boys, I don't know what they are. Can someone tell me what they are? That'd be helpful. With the two keys. Do they always have these outfits that look like the magician? Or that look like the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles? Why am I getting that so... I think it is the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles. But it's giving magician vibes really strong. What the heck? Whoa, man. Okay, Grace. You gotta focus. Divine masculine has core shifts in their beliefs. There were things that they believed that were direct blockages for their path, which sounds very familiar. I just talked about that with the divine feminine, and the one easy example for all of us is like being in the tarot community and having that discernment of who means well, who's actually like truly evil and trying to mess with you versus who is just bad at their job, you know what I mean, or doesn't really know what they're doing. Like, you don't know. I learned a long time ago from Cat Williams, just because somebody says it real strong, okay, and with confidence, that doesn't mean you trust them. That's why I started doing tarot, because a couple of the people I found were obviously just making stuff up, and it made me so mad that I wasted my time. That's why I get so sad when people say I do that here. No, no. That's why I started my channel, to go against all that shit. I'm the stepbrothers here to fuck shit up person. Y'all don't even know. I'm here to make sure that people aren't giving up on their divine masculines right when they're changing their mind about whatever. I'm here to make sure that we understand them and there's not so much contempt between us. Man, I tell you, to hear that what we don't understand and what we've been missing is that they have been seeing us in conjunction with the divine offering of the true path. Do you understand the power of the Queen of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles? The Ace of Pentacles energy, I just described this to somebody the other day. Was it in a public reading or not? But I just described it the other day. There's this beautiful path, this field of flowers, and just as you think it's over, you reach this tunnel of love, and out of the clouds comes this beautiful offer. But it says, if you want this, this is the token to get in there. You thought your whole life you just wanted the pentacle. But what you didn't know was the pentacle was not the actual gold. The gold is in that path, down that way, up the mountain. Oh, you mean the other side of this, Grace? Yes, I do mean that mountain, the other side of that mountain. And guess what? On the other side of that mountain, Divine has been dipping. Ooh, there's the balance. Dipping toe in the water, pouring back and forth, keeping us flowing, probably keeping us with water in our belly to make our river. When I tell you it's all here, it's all right here. So it's important for us to understand that divine masculine has just been given the keys to their kingdom. Divine couldn't give it to them until they knew where to go look. They probably would have lost the damn keys, probably would have tried it on every door until they broke. No, divine knew these were special keys. And for the divine masculine to suddenly understand that the pentacle was actually a key to the kingdom, was the way to access it and not the ultimate goal, is pretty like, whoa. That's like somebody thinking that when they get to the fountain of youth that they're going to drink from the fountain, or when they reach the holy grail that the cup is going to have this gift, but then it turns out that it's some other thing. So you had almost idolized or idealized whatever this both, right? This item, this cup, this person, this path, whatever it is you thought your greatest desire or your dream, whatever. And it was like, actually, I just knew that you needed a shiny thing to focus on. I knew that I couldn't tell you what you were going towards because you wouldn't have fought as hard for it. But now that you're here, you had that whole journey to get to this point to finally understand the value you because you went through something, right? To get there, you grab it, you hold it in your hands, and it's powerless. And that disappointment is what opens the way up for the excitement of the path. So many divine masculines, that's a word. So many divine masculines have to go all the way to get to the thing they think they wanted. That's why it's so important for them to stay that path. That's why I feel like I'm often told to tell you guys, hey, don't be too worried if your divine masculine is a king of pentacles. That's kind of our tribe thing, unfortunately. It's like Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, like everybody has their good and bad. So if that's what's happening in them, and as they're ascending and growing, and you can kind of even tell maybe that they're becoming more aware, for some reason, they seem really still focused on that pentacles. And you're thinking, shouldn't they be focusing on cups or something? Like, love me, you know? And it's like, no, don't worry. Divine's got it under control. Oh, I think that could be a part of the belief in the path. Wow. The truth is, once you do get to these items as that kind of person, as a treasure seeker, once you get there, life is kind of meaningless and empty. And most of those people usually go crazy, or they just go find another treasure. They find something else, or they seek something out that's impossible to find because they realize how much they love the hunt. And so this is really, really important. The divine masculine has been perfectly prepared by divine to receive this exactly as they're meant to, just like us. Okay. What's the main energy? Ooh. Okay. Oh my gosh. I feel like we've seen all the golden cards today. We've seen a lot of lot of seven energy. All right. Oh, wow. To see the Seven of Swords as the main energy, bringing up not only the Five of Swords, which we keep getting shown, that's the DM, that's where they've been, but also the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is the divine feminine in training energy, which says we were not the only ones waiting for something. It's just that the divine masculine didn't realize they were waiting on us, okay? They didn't even know, so it doesn't really count, okay? Let's just... Now, their inner masculine knew. But their inner masculine and our inner feminine have this really beautiful flow. We know how to do the dance properly, okay? The divine masculine in the season of the last 7 years, they knew early on something was wrong. In some of them, it showed up as depression, letting themselves go in whatever way that is for them, because not everybody, that's going to be like a physical thing, you know? For some, it could mean not pursuing their dreams, So take that as you need to. But whatever the case is, the divine masculine always had their eye on us. In some cases, I'm getting a sense of even to the point of like shame and embarrassment and And that's not your fault. I mean, it could be if you've been judgmental or something, work on that, right? But for a lot of our divine masculines, they got this weird internal rhetoric going on. I shouldn't say weird, that's mean. It's coming from trauma, it's coming from pain, but it's the reason why they're so self deprecating. They beat themselves up so much. They never believe, they never have hope. And they kind of have been rubbing off on us for a very long time in that hopelessness. But what's ironic is that it is the hope that they had about us that kept them going. So it's very bizarre that like, they could have this horrible effect on us like this. Oh my goodness gracious. This is really why I do what I do. Because I needed someone to talk to on my journey, and I did not have anybody. I had to like write letters to God because I didn't have anybody. Or I would like write letters to my divine masculine. I don't even like journaling, guys, but I would like write letters to my divine masculine. Like I had like every coaching exercise in the book for Twin Flames by the time I started my business because I was doing them just to survive. I was losing myself. I was losing my mind the first year that I was with Mr. Lightwork. It was not good. There was a lot of betrayal. There was all kinds of bad stuff. And when I think about this energy, and when I think about the shame and the way that they feel, like, let's just be real, they kind of need to feel it. And yet, we're seeing the shining, golden, bright, beautiful light behind them that even in the dark place where they were still glowing with the light. There is a holiness, a purity on them. These are our true divine masculines. It's unfair for us to assume that they're evil or that they're the dark part of the, if anything, we might be the shadow side of the the yin and yang. Let's just be all right. Anyway, I'm not going to get into the discussion of which one's feminine or not. Look, the point here is the last 7 years, they might not have explicitly understood that they were undercover, but they knew that this couldn't be right. It's just that the way they chose to do it, where we were kind of like sad, or maybe we experienced depression and all that too, because I think that it could have been for them, they were more likely to exploit it, to get what they could out of it. And that's kind of a masculine approach to things, right? If you can't beat them, join them. Or, and I will say, actually, this might be a survival move, okay? And the way that feminine energies choose to survive and masculine energies choose to survive can be similar, and yet still lining up more with working with what we've got. You know what I mean? And so there's this energy where it's like, on the one hand, on a soul level, they've been done for. On the other hand, some of them could have even appeared to be thriving because they chose to work within the season, but there was never a point where they accepted it and said, oh boy, do I love it here. There was never a point where they were like, man, I'm so glad to be alive and well and thriving in this place. It was always like holding knives. It was always like death by 1,000 cuts. Can I ask you a question? I know that when I say they put us on the back burner, to hear your person put you on the back burner overshadows so much, right? But can I ask you, why did they have hope? Why were they watching you or thinking of you? Like, they could have managed the situation they were in much better if they just let you go. Why didn't they? And don't give me the because we're twin flame stuff. I don't need Captain Obvious when I ask these questions. Why them? In their unique self. Why were they so grounded and so certain of nothing else but that one day you would be together? And this is crazy because some of you are going to be like, they don't believe it. Your DM sure as hell does if this resonates for you. So now you got to figure it out. How could it possibly be? Because this is going to be the major answer, the key for you for the entire rest of this reading, which I don't even know what the heck this reading is. This is crazy. Is anybody even here right now? Oh my gosh, you guys. Okay. Let's go this way. Let's pull a card from here. I'm going to slide it Yes. Okay. Get in there. I'm gonna. Come on. You don't want to go there? Fine. There we go. Okay. And. Okay. Now come over here. I gotta hurry because I can see the back of the card for this one. Okay, guys. If I go fast enough and I cover my hand. Yeah, ha, cover there. Ha ha, now you can't trick me. All right, and right here. Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you, if I can see the word, like my brain will interfere with the download and it gets very frustrating. All right, let's put these cards away for a second. Okay. Let's do a quick ad break, Grace. If you're interested in working together, check out my website, thefierygrace.com. I have a 50% off sale going on. The one that was on last month, I just extended it. It made it easier for me and also better for you guys. So if there's something that you did not get, you can go ahead and access that now, thefierygrace.com. Okay. Divine Masculine. I'm looking for cards by cards, yeah? So let's just start. All right, we're going to go here first. What is this about? Yeah, here. Only showing love when it benefits him or his personal agenda. So there's something here that talks about in the last several years, Divine Masculine has been on their own kind of vibe, as we discussed with the Seven of Swords. They've been doing what they need to do. They've been exploiting the energy that they were a part of because that's what they knew how to do. Someone taught them that. Probably their parents. No offense against their parents or anything. Maybe their parents didn't realize they were being exploitative. How do you say? Okay. So maybe it's really innocent. Okay, sorry. It's really innocent. But there's something here that says this can't happen. You are not allowed to be treated this way. You're not allowed. I mean that like you don't have permission to let someone treat you this way anymore. Why? Because the light, the energy, you're not getting it. You're too valuable for divine. You're protected. And if divine has to protect you against your protector, divine will do it because you're the queen. Now, there are some kingdoms out there, we've heard about them, where the king will chop off her head, kill all his concubines, do wild shit. And it's like, oh my gosh, what a weirdo. Leave these women alone. And then there's kingdoms like Sparta where before he kicks the man into the pit of death, he looks at his wife like, you know this gonna start a war, right? And she's like, yeah, go ahead and do it because we bout that life. I want you to understand that you're meant to be with a protective protector. And until then, you gonna protect yourself. Say word. Okay. Grace, bring it back. Bring it back. I'm talking to y'all how I talk in my house, and I'm not supposed to do that. We got a code switch. Turn it on. Sorry. Getting loopy, Grace. Y'all are getting loopy, Grace. Uh-oh. Ruh-roh. All right. Divine Masculine has to learn about partnership. And Divine Masculine is going to learn about partnership from the bottom. The last 7 years have been about showing them that they don't know anything. And I hate to say that about our Divine Masculines because some of them are actually very wise in certain areas, professional in certain areas. Even the ones that are kind of shady might be good at what they do in the shady space, okay? So to say anything like that about them almost feels like no. But the reality is that douchebaggery that you think is cute ain't gonna be allowed around here. So you're gonna see what it feels like to be the know-it-all who just can't get a leg up. And you're gonna start to learn through humble moments. That approach that you have to life, just because you can skate by, just because you are slick. Some of our divine masculines are very, very handsome. I don't think I've gotten a picture from anybody of somebody whose DM was not like, oh, well, hello. I'm just saying, they have had the Kelso effect, right? Where they're good looking from the moment they come out the womb. They've got like a strong chin or something. I can't explain it. It's just like, oh. And even if they're not traditionally handsome, there's something about them. There's the charisma and the charm. There's something about them where you almost can't blame them. You almost can't blame them. I used to be friends with a lot of athletes. And my athlete friends, many of them were actually highly intelligent and, maybe they played dumb or whatever because it wasn't cool to be so smart. But some of them were legitimately dumb for the exact reason that people talk about, because they're passed through. They're passed through. You've got kids that are not reading on the right level or but they're 2 heads taller than their classmates, and the teachers are like, ooh, it would look bad for you to not be in the grade that you're supposed to be. It'll mess you up. So I'm just going to push you through. And by the time they get to high school, just big and dumb. Again, not every athlete I know. I knew a lot of them at college that were highly intelligent. But you know what I'm talking about. Somewhere in your divine masculine, there's a beautiful dummy. I don't know what it is that they're doing. I don't know what this is about. But they thought they were slick. You weren't stupid. You knew what they were doing. You saw them for what they were. There was no... But it's like a little kid, man. It's like when your toddler is lying for the first few times. They don't really know like how to do it, but they're trying because they realize they could do this. Like, oh, I could just say I didn't do it, even though I'm covered in chocolate. That's them. And that's what I'm talking about when I say the humble, because there's going to be points where the mom has to say, baby, I know that you did not win the game. I know you cheated. Because the mom realizes that if I let you do this for the rest of your life, you're probably going to become a con man or something. You know what I mean? There's something here where divine feminine, you're being shown that whether it was you or whether it was your divine masculine having some sort of experience with others, whether it's, a karmic or even just people in their life, they needed to be exposed for who they were so they would stop it. Because you didn't have the heart. And by the time that you were so pissed off, if it got there, that you finally said something, oh my goodness, they had already, in their mind, had you so wrapped around their finger that they're like, oh, wait, see, you're going to abandon me. And they start pulling all the normal, childish flailing, just the flailing. And I just feel like divine is trying to help us understand how things have been for the last 7 years. On one side, needed to be as they were because this person needed to feel the pain of it. On the other side, you needed to see the reality of what you shouldn't be facing or dealing with, or like what you could not bring into the new season. And somewhere in there, you got unconditional love mixed up with, I don't know. It was like you just thought that you just had to just love them through this or something. There's no way. There's no way. You deserve more, and you were not going to enable them further. Divine was like, I can't. So some of you just got one of your main answers for separation. The reality is you love too much, you love too hard, and you love the hell out of them. And they did not need love. They didn't even need tough love. They needed hell. Hell, bruh. To make them be willing to say, when they reach the end of the road, they finally grab the pentacle out of Divine's hand, and then we're like, this is worthless. And I'm like, yeah, it's not gold. It's the key to that door, So first thing to open your mind to is that you are loved, protected, deserve better. And as much as people say it and it gets frustrating because it's like, well, fuck all that. Where's my person? I just want reunion. Divine is not going to let you. You don't have permission to let yourself be treated that way anymore. Okay. Well, let's go right here. Come out. What is this about? Clocks, time. I love this card. I love this deck. This deck is awesome because it's a deck, or it's an oracle, it's a reference guide, and it's flashcards. There's multiple ways to use it. I really like this. Okay. One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Never noticed that. This seems to be, I think that's 10-10 even. 10-10, 7, focus grace. This seems to be about the divine timing of the path opening, the portals opening, all the things that have played out, even down to the specific celestial events that are happening right now. I believe the reason I've been woken up is a couple days ago, I found out that there was a huge, massive, like bigger than anything we've seen in a long time, solar flare, solar storm, geomagnetic storm. There's been all this stuff going on for a while, but like it had like this massive explosion of energy. And I can usually tell when it's going on, like the really bad ones. I don't know why, but I'll either get a message from someone or I'll know, look it up. Boom, found it. I feel like all this stuff seems normal or coincidental, even to us who don't really believe in coincidences, because we're so used to it. You know, yep, Saturn's okay, cool. Yep, Mars, all right, whatever. It's like there's so many things going on that if you're not studying astrology to actually understand it, but you're looking for answers about your person or reunion in it, everything just gets blurry. That's why I try to remind people reunion happens in the 3D, not the 5D. The place you're looking for the information is usually not the right place. So it seems like we're not just talking about divine timing, because divine timing is usually going to come with the message of like, oh, be careful, like, wait, you gotta, no. This seems more about being on time. This seems to be about delays and arrivals and, okay, what do we need to understand about this? Okay. It is time for the divine masculine to grab the sword. Now, if you've been here the whole reading, you already know that a part of the message of the sword is the protection aspect, the action aspect. Even in the justice energy, we saw the divine masculine energy standing out as the sword. But I also think this is about the right time for communication, for communicating certain things. Divine masculine might be able to say, I love you, but a year ago, if they had said, I love you, it would have had a different meaning behind it because they had different thoughts and different approaches to things. We even talked recently, I mentioned this to somebody, how some of us who've been on the journey for a while, or who have divine masculines who gave kind of time-based reasoning for why money was always going to be a problem and they needed to wait until a certain thing, and then sometimes they would give an age, right? They'd say 35 or 45 or 50, or when my kids are 18, or and some of us have forgotten because we thought that was just an excuse, or maybe we thought they changed their mind. Some of us have forgotten. Let me check the clock. Let me check the calendar really quick. Time's up. Some of us don't realize that that number was not as arbitrary as it seemed. And I have a feeling here that this is not just talking about the divine masculines coming in because divine said so, but the divine masculines are coming in because the nonsense that they have put in their mind is like being aged out. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Let's go right here. I'm curious about this. What is this about? Oh, manipulating emotions to gain love without giving it back. Now, this is two cards now where the focus seems to be the heart of the feminine. They're energy vampires trying to steal our love. But are they doing it because they're evil, or are they doing it because that's the only way they think they can get love? Again, someone taught them that. Someone taught them that they can't just be themselves, that they have to use their body. They can't just be themselves. They have to outwit, outsmart, outplay, outlast, because they think everything is fucking Survivor. I'm telling you, they're after your heart, and sometimes it's because they've been taught that this is who they are. It's like Kovu. you're evil. Your dad was Scar. Now you're Scar number 2 and you're bad and go do this thing. And he goes in like a militant mother, just like, I'm in there. But Kiara knew. He was just a hurt little kid. Kiara knew. We have got to be able to see past this behavior. Because if we just get caught up in it, like, oh my gosh, I keep giving them and then I keep giving it, nope, that's not the empowered space. But also, we can't break the cycle. And so, Divine Feminine, how do you break this cycle? Because it seems like some of the information we're getting here is that as the Divine Masculine comes back into our lives, there is going to, oh wow, duh, I just said this the other day. Sorry, there is going to be some stuff that we're going to have to nip it in the bud. We're going to have to lay boundaries. We're going to have to do a lot of things. And if we're still so worried about losing them or upsetting the douchebag and all that, we're not going to lay the boundary. We're not going to do any of that. Do you remember the beginning when you let them do whatever because you just wanted their time? You remember? I'm sorry, I don't mean to bring up you think I did any better than you? Come on, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying this is real. If we look at the monster and not what's missing, we miss everything. And what's missing is a healthy giving and receiving love structure economy within them. How? How do we make a difference? We make them make a choice. We make them make a choice. Sometimes ultimatums are necessary. They're not really ultimatums. This is the true part about it. You'll know a fucked up manipulative ultimatum versus I'm putting my foot down and they just want to call it an ultimatum. You understand what I'm saying? Mr. Lightwork and I always talk about like we got together from an ultimatum, but really that's not true. We got together because I was breaking up with him. And I didn't want to. But I couldn't be with this. So I told him no. And surprisingly, he said, essentially, like, teach me. I gave him a fucking choice. And the truth is, there's going to come a time here early in your reunion where you're going to have to give them a choice. And you're going to assume, especially with how things have been, especially with you shrinking your dream down, that either they're going to say no, but ask for another chance to keep doing the same thing, or that they're going to say no and leave. But the truth is that's how you'll know that wasn't actually reunion. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't what you thought it was. But for many of you, it will be the next turning point. The next turning point will be the moment where you say, I'm standing in my sovereignty and you can't cross this moat unless you're holy. Prove it. Whew! This is going to be deep. This next season is going to be deep because this is going to be a season where divine feminines have the power. And this is so funny because you would think that with like the Me Too, like all the different movements and stuff that have really happened and to bring feminism forward, you would think that the tarot girlies and the spiritual space and the twin flame feminines, whatever, would be standing a little bit more firm. But the reality is those of us who love is what is like a core principle for us. Like empowerment is important, but love matters more. Yeah, we've been getting taken advantage of, and really not in like a simpleton way, like, well, we just didn't even know what was happening. No, we know. We don't want it that way, but we know that they're broken and they're not healing, and we just get it. But not anymore. Divine said that's no longer a requirement. That's no longer one of your duties to just take. Good job. Because now they can't say you don't love them. They can't say you didn't hold out. They can't lie to you. In fact, if they try to, you might lose your shit. So Divine made you so certain that no one can tell you otherwise, to the point where you might look like Charlie Day in the memes, like, except you will make sense. Okay? Like Let's do it. Let's do a quick break here, Grace. Take a second, because I'm feeling okay. I'm gonna do something on my channel really quick. Where is it? Here. If you are interested, I am. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, subscriptions. I am. I have multiple channels, guys. And one of them that I have is Divine Femininity, and I just thought about it. So if you're interested, the at is at Ascent Femininity. Like if you search it, if you search at Ascent Femininity, it'll come directly up. If you search Divine Femininity, it's still such a new channel that nothing will come up. But I really appreciate those of you who have come to this channel and listened to me with no tarot cards, just talking about being feminine, going into relationships and all that. And I really, really appreciate those of you who have liked the video, because the other day I had gone to check the channel out. I had not been there looking at it or anything. I was on like the YouTube page where I could see everything, like the likes and dislikes. I checked it and I was like, oh wow, I was surprised I had views. I didn't think anyone would see the channel yet still, because no one really wants, you know. And then I refreshed the page and someone had gone through and disliked every video. And I'm telling you, it wasn't someone watching. The likes and dislikes update immediately for creators. Someone had, the day I knew it was the evil forces just wanted me to get discouraged, that I hadn't checked on the channel in a week. And the day I check it, I am doing something on my computer. I refresh the page 30 minutes later and someone has strategically gone through, and they went through so many videos. There's no way they watched them. So I just want to thank those of you who are supporting my new endeavors. And Awakening Divine is another really special channel to me. It was something that I didn't want to do because I didn't want to take away from what I'm doing for Twin Flames, but I feel like it's been a blessing and I'm reaching new people, and that's what matters. And also I have a channel for quick love letter messages that I don't know exactly what to do with them. So it's kind of, I don't know if I'll be posting consistently. It just depends on what comes through. So I just wanted to take a second. All right. I'm going to take both of these. I feel like we've got choice. Let's talk about this choice. Manipulating facts to suit his narrative and justify his actions. And this is making me think about the Seven of Swords that we saw. So we need to understand that our divine masculine has some issues sometimes with being authentic, being honest, being real. And I think that the reason they struggle with that so much is because they've never seen it. So our goal is to get them from trying to justify the nonsense that they do. This is not the choice. This is the sword and the scales. Our job is to behave in a way that they can actually mirror. If we mirror them, we're already losing the battle. If we force them to mirror us, meaning we stand firm, we stand our ground, we know what we're talking about, we know what we're certain of, it forces them to kind of buck up, to be real. All of a sudden, there's no more excuses and there's no more manipulation, and they're not twisting us up and confusing us. All of a sudden, they've got a fucking answer. So what is I do feel like there's a choice. I said choice, but it's actually, this is the choice, and it's the scales, which I often tell people the Two of Pentacles is kind of like the scales. So what is the choice that they have to make in order to be more balanced, in order to bring true justice to their life, not just trying to justify? Oh, the Magician comes out. I called the Magician out earlier. Oh, it was so strong. It was with the High Priest. What's his name? The Hierophant. But I felt the Queen of Pentacles. Now, what's interesting with the Magician is there's multiple suits on the table, right? So we're talking about the scales. And I think what this says is they have to learn how to think from the standpoint of being objective versus subjective. When do I do what? When is one or the other ever helpful or valuable? And until they really figure that out, they won't know when to use what wisdom for what. I think this has become a real issue. Divine masculine, the more time went on the last 7 years, the more tools were added to their disposal. Some of us have seen the foolish thing the DMs do where they then turn around and try to take that. It's almost like they have a gambling addiction and then divine comes in and it's like, hey, I'm going to give you everything you need to pay off your gambling debts. And they're like, wow, thanks. And they go and they incur more debt with that money instead of paying off their debt. That's not funny, actually. But my point is that they do this. They take the gifts, they take the wisdom, they take even stuff from us. And then they turn around and they just destroy, they screw it up. And so there's something here that says the choice that they need to make is to pursue the wisdom of how to wield their power. And if they don't, there will be no as above, so below in their life. It will just be hell. It will just be below. They will no longer be able to manipulate facts because you will no longer let them. You used to let them, or you used to engage with them when they were doing it. Like, why are you lying? And they're like, I'm not lying. And it's like, they started the conversation off lying. You can't ask them that. This is so there's something here that says, in order to find balance and to be of service to anyone else, they're going to have to first learn how to serve divine. And that means that divine gets to control. Like when a military person is given their military weapon, they don't get to use that how they want. They don't get to just go be like, I'm the police officer now. Like, sir, you are a soldier in the army. If you don't go sit your butt down, like they don't get that. They are told when to use it, when not to use it. They're told how to put it together, where to put it, all that thing. Okay. Yeah, it's yours. You need to claim it like it's yours because this is a safety thing as a soldier. This is important, right? But at the same time, I tell you everything else. Okay. And divine is not playing with divine masculine anymore. Divine is not. The last 7 years, they had a lot of grace. There was a lot that they were allowed to get away with. Moving forward, and it's already been like that since 2024 started. 2025 has been like, nah, I'm trying to do like the neck where it's like, okay, no. Divine is like, hell no. I am not going to allow you to take the divine wisdom, the knowledge and understanding I've been giving you, the light that I have instilled in you, imbued you with, for you to turn around and use it for darkness anymore. I didn't mind you doing it before because I barely gave you any power. See, the Pentacles offering of this season is very difficult or different than the swords energy that was offered before. That was a more difficult energy, and divine gave them less power with it because it was like, I don't want to give you too much power in the sword. You might hurt somebody. It's like, I'm going to give the soldier a BB gun until I'm sure. You know what I'm saying? I think divine masculine has to make the choice to become the best of the best. It's like someone who joins the army because all their friends did and they're like, what did I get myself into? Versus someone who's like, I've always wanted to be an army ranger like my dad and my grandfather and his grandfather before him. It's like, whoa, it's like you have to shift your intensity that you have about pursuing things of comfort and almost kind of maybe hedonistic ways and the debauchery and the things that some of our DMs do kind of like, right, to distract themselves, to avoid things because they're not happy. It's like you have to take all of that and turn it into passion for your person and for your purpose. And oh, that doesn't sound fun. After years of doing whatever you want and no one gets to tell you, and you could just be Yosemite Sam, just pew, 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 pew all day. And now you're telling me I got to be all, what? No. But once they decide, what's the action they have to take? Once they decide, I'm done with the manipulation because I'm just manipulating myself. It's interesting now because I'm looking at this power and it's like, he's so powerful. He's using all this stuff against you when he could be using that same freaking power that he's using against you for good. Instead of wasting it on arguments and pettiness and just childishness. So what's the, hold on, this actually is not done yet. So what's the action? Wow. Why did I think about the Hanged Man? What? Oh, see, I don't know. I feel like something would have added up to 12. It was here. It was the Hierophant and the Seven of Swords. When we were checking the divine masculine's energy, I thought about the Hanged Man, but I was like, you know what? I'm hoping they're not in that energy anymore. But I think that's the point. The sword with the Hanged Man energy points me back to the storyline that we already know with the King of Wands. I often tell people this is him. That's him right there. He's hanging on this tree when he's young, and he's like, oh, I have an epiphany. And the epiphany is actually a pentacle behind his head. Okay. He's like, I remember there's this place where there's a pentacle in the sky. I heard about it. I got to go there. So he's like, okay, I'm going to get down. I was going to let myself hang here because I'd already given up on everything. Some of us understand when our DMs just do that for no reason. Just give up. It's over. Ooh. 2:00 in the morning. He cuts himself down. With what? With the sword. That's the first action he takes. Stop throwing yourself a fucking pity party and get up. You've been hanging here by your foot for this long. No one came to hurt you. Nothing. You're just going to hang there? Now, that's our frustration. But Divine knew having them just sitting there seeing the world from a new perspective was going to do something. The action that they must take is to cut themselves down from this tree that they've been stuck on. It's the first step into bringing them into their true power, because when they leave this tree to remember their epiphany, the story goes that they cut a branch off, not knowing it's a magical tree with magical branches. They don't know that this is an ancient tree with ancient wisdom built in. This was where they were supposed to be. They thought they got caught, put in some gallows, and they were screwed. Turns out this was divinely ordained from before they were ever born. This is huge. And now we have the light that I've been talking about this whole reading, talking about the golden light surrounding, talking about especially like showing up in the spirit. And now we can kind of see the origins for the divine masculine. And it comes from this awakening energy, this Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man has that purple that we see in the chair, in the Justice card. It's got actually a lot of similar coloring all around, but yet not on him. He's not fully grounded, and yet it's so close. I can see the draping of the cloak with the green. I can see so much. It's like when a painter has a vision of their painting, like an abstract painting, and they know what it's meant to represent. It's like Divine knew when creating this energy for divine masculine what it would turn into, what would ultimately be seen by others, what the divine masculine would see. So they had choices to make. And in order for them to be able to go forward and stop doing things the way they've always done them, which never freaking worked for them, Divine had to take away one of their ultimate powers. The power of manipulation. Manipulation. Okay. I've got a few more in here. Let's just start going from over here. What is this about? Feeding off her emotional strength while leaving her depleted. We've been talking about the light. And this person thought, what? The only place that they could get the light was to steal it. And when they found you and your light was so powerful, they were like, num, 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 num. Don't mind if I do. And hell, she's so strong, she doesn't even notice. Now, mind you, again, it's like a kid. Every time you turn your head, your kid takes a piece of mac and cheese off your plate and eats it and looks at you like, I don't have anything. Meanwhile, there's cheese all over their mouth. And you're like, okay, baby, whatever. And you just pretend it's cute. It's fun. And sometimes it's not really cute and fun with what the DM does. And yet there's this part of us that's like, I don't even want to argue with you, because it's like arguing with a toddler, right? When you refuse to admit what you're doing, when you act like you don't know what I'm talking about, I can't. So I just let you. Well, we're not letting them anymore. We're making them go get their own damn light. And it's about damn time that we did that, because honey, no one else is going to be able to feed them. This is the trick about it. Once they've got light from... Okay, so apparently in the middle of this live, Spectrum is having a massive outage where I am. You know, I don't think I've had a Spectrum outage since 2022, like not like this. Routine work here and there. There was a season where Verizon came in and suddenly my internet wasn't working and Verizon was like, hey, is your internet not working too good? It was a little suspect is all I'm saying. So, I'm just saying, I don't believe it. I'm sorry, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I get woken up in the middle of the night and there is a massive outage in the middle of the reading. So, sure. If you saw it, this is the end. If you didn't, maybe listen real quick, because I'm about to tell you what I was cut off when I was saying and how interesting this is. Just like when they deleted my video when I was encouraging the divine feminines about something and I can't get that back. When I make a video private, I can still access it. I can download it. I can still have the footage. I can listen to it. I don't delete videos. It's gone. It's just gone. And what I was noticing, what I was saying when I thought people might still be able to hear me, but I'm realizing they couldn't, is that about 6 months ago, as I was telling the divine feminine almost the exact same thing, the video cut out. So what was I saying? I got to this part here about how the divine masculine, how their immaturity, that we had been enabling it. And I will say, not realizing that we were doing any harm, because, they thought they were slick, but they weren't. Like, whatever. It wasn't really cute, but it was kind of like, whatever. Again, I just keep hearing whatever. Whatever. But divine said, no more whatever. Make them court you. Make them chase you. And the truth is, once someone has decided that that's the way they want to go, that's where they're going to go. You know what I was talking about? See, I don't know if this is going to work. I don't know when it cut off. So I don't know what I'm going to be repeating or not repeating. Okay. But what I was explaining is that there's a thing with cars where some cars can have premium gas and some cars can just have regular unleaded. And there are some cars that can really do both. But if you start filling it with regular unleaded, then, putting premium in it every so often, I don't know if it's really going to do anything, because it's an engine that generally runs off unleaded. It's like feeding yourself a vegetable once a year and saying like, oh, I put premium in once, it's like, it doesn't matter. You're fueling yourself based off the other stuff. Well, on the other side, if you put premium into a car that could do unleaded, like a regular unleaded, and then you start to put unleaded into it, it's not going to run right. A lot of people don't know that. That's why a lot of people just say, if I can do unleaded regular, I'm going to do the 87. Okay. So divine masculine comes in and they get your premium put into them. They get this light that's like something else. And they try to get back, and they're going around and they didn't realize that it was premium. So they're going around all this regular unleaded and they're like, hey, why isn't this fulfilling me? And it's because what they didn't know is that divine has something set up for divine partners where once you get that injection of power, the more powerful fuel, the better fuel, the right fuel, nothing will work in your gas tank properly. Nothing else. Nothing. And it'll never quite run right. And you'll never quite be right. And that's something that you've got to let them, they've got to get all the way down to empty. So someone will come in and say, you're supposed to be putting premium in this thing, right? You've been putting 87? You can't be putting that in there. You got to put premium in this right here because it ain't going to run right. But you got to get to a point where you can't keep putting a Band-Aid getting from point A to point B, right? You've got to get to a point where you have nothing else and someone can look at you and say, well, there's your problem. But the divine masculine is very good at avoiding that, aren't they? So imagine me sitting here telling you, don't give them any money. Don't give them anything. Make them work for it. And the live goes out. Imagine that I, in that reading said, hey, by the way, there are people out there who are benefiting from you believing things like not pursuing your dreams and thinking small and shrinking yourself down to fit your DM and all this different stuff. They don't say it that way, but that's really what they're encouraging you to do. with the things that they're telling you to believe about reunion and how to come together and separation. They're benefiting from making you believe and giving you a perspective about your DM and a perception about who they are in their life that is false. And as I came in to try to go against the very narrative, the cutout, I believe someone doesn't want you to know there's a big change coming and you're a part of it. They're so sad. So I have a few cards left in here that we need to go through. Let me start over here and just make sure I didn't skip anything. So let me just grabby. Where you at? All right, there we go. What is this about? We're going to finish this reading one way or another, even if it's somehow separate. What do we need to know? What is this about? Winter. Oh, man. Okay. It is about the light. And I know that if you're watching this right now and you did not see the other reading, that this is not going to be as exciting for you. But if you did, you're going to go, oh, it's there again. Okay. It's the winter card and the light. In this deck, the light shows in all seasons. And it is a reminder that no matter how you're feeling, the summer can be oppressively hot. The fall can feel scary, like everything's dying. Winter can feel like it's never going to be alive again. Spring can make you feel like you're late. And so there's a darkness and a light to everything. And you're being reminded to see the light. The light of what? The light of winter. That even when it's the coldest and darkest, which is pretty much where we've been for the last 7, going on 8-ish plus years now, that there is a dawn of a new day. There is a moment where the season ends and a new season begins. And this is now. So the divine masculine is a part of this energy because this is their reading. We kind of looked at the energy for both partners earlier in the other one, and you get it. But this is about them. What we need to understand is that they never quite let go of this feeling that something was possible. They were just trying to make the best of what they could with what they had. That's where we had the DM settling. I'm not going to rehash the entire reading in this part. I need to finish, right? Because by the way, it's 2:00 in the morning. This is the reading where I was awakened in the middle of the night. And the moment I started to give the very important message, they were like, we're going to just make the internet go out. Okay, anyways. I can't make this shit up sometimes. I was like, you got to be kidding me. They believe that it's happening. I don't know why. I think it's going to be every divine masculine will have a different view of what's happening, of what's changing. They just know. What do we need to understand about this? How this is going to change something in them. And I don't know why. I was brought to look at the stars. Hold on. Because that card earlier was kind of we're talking about the fact that our DMs can sometimes be a little douchey, a little bit. But how divine was going to let them learn what that brings. So I don't know why I was drawn to that, but I was also drawn to the chariot energy and brought to think about the stars above, almost like this constant reminder that that's where they're supposed to be. What are we missing? Oh, this is wild. Oh, this is so exciting. See, this is already proof because I can always finish a reading, right? I can restart the live even though I can't because as I said, I just found out the internet's literally out. I can restart the live all I want, but it'll never have that same effect as that whole reading, right? Maybe one day I'll try to download and link them together so we could watch it all the way through. Yeah, I'll try to do that at some point, but I want to get this out as soon as possible, so that'll take a while. To have it broken up this way means a lot of people are not going to get the full depth of the message. And the wand is very, very important. So for this to come up, it's like, no. If you remember, we were told, and the divine masculine were supposed to do this too, to put the old thing down because we thought we were where we were supposed to be, even though it didn't feel good and it didn't feel right. Whoa. Okay, and now the mic is falling. You guys, this is unreal. This is just you. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to just finish. We thought that we were being obedient to divine by just accepting where we were. And that came with its own lessons and blessings, and we did a very good job. And now divine is saying, hey, I never told you you had to stay there. That's what you gleaned from the waiting. You thought that because it didn't happen in your timing, that it must have been a no. But I never said no. I never told you to stop dreaming. I never told you to stop that path. You decided to stop. You decided to make camp and just never get back up. And as much as that stinks to hear that, especially because the way that I talk can be very like, I just straightforward, and it's like, no, I don't. It can make you want to say, no. I know it's hard. But if you can see where you did that, you can see so much about them. That's the true mirror, is acknowledging in your triggers, in really any of the information that comes through in the downloads, to look at how you handled it, to look at what divine was doing in your life, and suddenly you can see the divine masculine side of things. So the divine masculine is being offered all of the power that comes with having access to these resources, as well as the experiences it took to get them to know how to use them. Divine masculine is being taught how to use all the divine blessings one step at a time. To see the trees here, thinking about the Hanged Man, we had the King of Wands cutting down there. Even now, oh my gosh, there's too much. Even here we see the moat around the kingdom. I mean, there's a lot here that's coming through. And I think what we must understand about this is divine masculine, for some reason, they decided to listen to divine when divine said, put it down. That old thing is no longer it. There's a thing that's older than that. Okay, the real plan, the one you thought was over, the one you gave up on because you thought you were being good to do it. You weren't giving up like DMs give up, where they just be like, oh, I guess it's over. You gave up like, you know what? I must align with divine, and it just doesn't seem like it's going to happen, and I have to accept that. And divine is calling you out and calling divine masculine out as well. And I believe that in most cases, we are the spark. We're the key. We're the pentacle. We're all the things. And the divine masculine is finally coming to realize that that's the case. Or in some cases they knew, but they finally feel like their path is opening up for it. We're talking about divine masculines who genuinely care, who have always cared, who have always loved us, who sometimes we thought they didn't. Sometimes we just couldn't feel it. We couldn't believe it, but they did. Doesn't matter what we thought. It was just, they do. And what we need to know is that divine masculine is realizing they're meant to be higher, but in a way, because they already knew it, it's more so like, it's not realizing they need to be, but that it's time to go. Like they have permission to. Okay, what else? What else do we need to understand? Is there another one before this or no? Let's see. All right, let's get this. Oh, this comes. Oh, okay. We've got like a little triple cards here. Is this the last one? Oh, and then there's this. I think that's it. Yeah, let's split this. Was this already? Yeah, let's split this. This is still a little energy. Okay. And we'll get a final message from there. Okay. No, this first. So, let's go in the middle. What is this about? Making her feel like a pawn in his games of manipulation. And I think this kind of closes out and says the divine masculine was not going to be given power, not true power. We talked about this already in the other reading, or in the first part of this reading. They're not going to be given power, especially now, but also because of the tendencies that they have in thinking that this is the only way, that this is the right way, that this is the right path. Why are we having such just a clear picture of manipulation, because not all these cards talk about manipulation, but it kind of seems like that's the ones that we got here. Yeah, this is about loyalty and trust. This is about guilt. I mean, there's all kinds of different things. Gaslighting, reputations destroyed. There's all this other stuff that has nothing to do with manipulation or isn't like the direct, but this is it. This is saying that the love that we have for them is beautiful and powerful and it's amazing. But until they are no longer trying to take advantage of that, they can't have it, and they can't have their own power either. Not their true divine nature. So just like ours hovered around us and has kind of been waiting to come in or being our guardian and our guide or whatever, theirs has been doing the same, but with a little bit more distance. And as we come into the physical, as we come into reunion, our job is to shake loose of the strings, the puppet strings of manipulation, to walk off their chessboard, to be done playing their game at all. How do we do that? Oh, okay. This is numbers, and there's even like master numbers, repeating numbers. This is all the numbers energy. Okay. This is almost like numerology, but then the front of the card with the 1111, the journal, there's something about this that's giving me the vibe of almost like even like a crystal grid, because there's all the crystals around it. Like there's something about this that feels ritualistic, or it's almost like it's pointing to discernment. And I think what this says is the way that you break them out of this behavior is you clock them. Instead of letting them get away with it, instead of engaging with their pettiness, you clear yourself from it completely. You walk away. And it's almost like you can tell in this guy's face, this is a passive manipulation. He's not even really looking at her. He's just so used to doing it. But by you coming in and saying, I'm clocking every single thing you're doing, and every single thing you do, I'm either going to break it, bind it, or I'm going to help you transmute it. This is about bringing your sovereignty down. This is about you saying to them, I believe you. I believe that you're ready. I believe that you and I know that it's time. And I also believe that you cannot cross this boundary until we fix these things. How are they going to receive that? They're going to want to go run up to the tree they were stuck on before and get back under there. They're going to be a little childish. They're going to be a little annoying. And you see, they're going to try to diminish the love at first. There's going to be a part of them that even though this is everything they've ever wanted, they're still going to act ridiculous about it. And before you, why? Have you never met someone who's done that? There's no reason. They're going nuts. They're acting up. They're choosing the most difficult path because they're off a little bit. And it's our job when we are in a healthy space, when they are ready and willing to do the work, when they have made progress, to then stand by them and behave in the way that we would want them to behave so that they can mirror us. Not to meet them where they are, not to get pouty and petty, because honestly, if my divine masculine started to cross his arms and act up about us being together because I'm telling him he's got to step his game up, he's not ready or he's not my divine masculine. Simple math. This is about recognizing that in spite of the fact that every part of you wants to celebrate and be excited and run into this love, that this person has a childish nature. Think about the energies that did come through so far. And what you'll notice is there's the side of them, there's the Two of Pentacles, there's the side of them that's super immature, and there's the side of them that is empowered, wants to be more powerful, wants to be authority figure in their own life and in your life, lead you. There is the dissonance inside. And it's so easy to just be like, ugh, if it was me, but they're not you. That aspect of twindom is not happening here. They're them. They're working with their own potential and what they would do with their circumstances and their choices. So your job now, reign. Reign, sovereign queen, please. Final message for you. What do you need to understand about them that should help you understand this whole reading and the season that's here, that's supporting you, that's supporting them? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy. It's the butterflies. It's the butterflies. It's the butterfly. The butterflies are here in my state right now. They migrate. It's amazing. It's incredible. I love when they're here. They're everywhere. I record them every time I go outside. And I'm just so happy to see this right now because butterflies are the first sign of spring, truly, for me. I know that sounds weird, but the butterflies kind of disappear when they're migrating. And it is not until I see their little flutters that I feel like, yeah, spring has sprung. We're leaving behind the season of winter. We're entering into a new season. And if we don't believe that, this reading won't matter. It'll just be another reading for you. Like, yeah, reunion's coming. Yeah, they're growing, they're changing. Yeah, I got to do my best. It's like at some point you're going to realize that if you feel that way, but you keep watching these readings, you're screwing yourself over. You're making yourself go along with the motions, and you're going to hate it in the future when you realize years have passed by because you just watched and said, yeah. It didn't give me the information I wanted. I guess no reunion today. I'll try back tomorrow. Biggest trick in the book to keep you stuck and keep money in people's pockets. I have been working for 7 years to get people either out of here or out of a place where they need anybody but themselves and maybe an occasional check-in, like tarot is supposed to be utilized. When I tell you, people do not want you in your power. People do not want you to realize who you are. People do not want your person to figure out what they're doing here and why reunion is so important. People, whether it's because they're attached to the evil forces or darkness, or just because they're jerks, or because they're miserable, or because, no, he's one of the boys, he's not supposed to get married, or because, oh no, she's one of the girls and we're supposed to go be doing this over here. Whatever it is. From the biggest grand scheme all the way down to somebody being petty and annoying. You have been designed to overcome it. And in some cases, you don't even have to deal with it. But the way that happens is by being aware of the present energy, knowing when to grasp it, and knowing when to go with the divine flow. Sometimes I see these butterflies and they flutter around and they find the right places to go make their little nests, and it's so cute. Sometimes I see a butterfly and they're new around here, and for some reason they've decided to go into the road, into the highway where these huge gusts, and they have to flap around like, oh my gosh, but they make it. Why? Because they can fly. Whether you're shaking around and it's a crazy ride, or you found a beautiful place, make sure you're in the right place. Make sure you're in the right season. Make sure you are aware that if you have stopped believing, that you are going to refresh that on purpose now. Why? Why is it so important for you to flow with the changing tides, the changing of the seasons? It's so funny because I'm thinking about, this is what I was trying to describe when I talk about them making their nest. There's this bush. It's not really a bush. I guess it's a tree, but the inner part of the tree doesn't really have, it's mostly just branches, lots and lots of branches. I think that what happens is it's only the exterior. If anybody knows what kind of tree I'm talking about, there's a lot of branches, and it seems that only the exterior, very tips of the tree actually has leaves. All the rest of the tree inside is just this weird kind of like, it's like netting. And there's a tree like that in my neighborhood, and that's where all the butterflies are, and they're flying in it. And it's like a little globe of butterflies. It's incredible. And there's something about this where yesterday I went and it had rained, and it was a big storm, like tornado warnings and everything. Okay. And I was so worried after the downpour. It flooded my porch like it was crazy. I was so worried that all the butterflies were in trouble. And I had the weirdest thought. I was walking under a tree when I hadn't seen any the whole walk. And I was like, dang, I think all the butterfly, maybe they got wet in the wings. And as I said that, I looked up. It wasn't the tree that I was just talking about that kind of reminds me of this a little bit. Not really, but it does for some reason. I looked up and I saw the like a thick branch. And I thought to myself, if I was a butterfly, I would just kind of fly right there and I would flatten my wings and I would just hang upside down until the rain stopped, you know? Like it was kind of windy and all that, but I think inside the canopy, you know, it's not as bad, right? Especially if it's like a canopy inside of a canopy, because I live in like the rural area, lots of woods. And it was so funny. Not like 10 more steps after I thought to myself, they're creatures. They know how to handle some rain. That's ridiculous. All of a sudden, the butterflies are everywhere, and I walk up and the bush is full of them. I looked in that bush. That's the first place I looked because that's where they always are. It's amazing to see them fluttering. It's so pretty. And they weren't there when I first walked by. They were nowhere for an entire like 30, 45-minute walk until the last second when something in me said, wait a minute, what am I talking about? Divine Feminine, what are you talking about? Do you really believe that Divine would have you come into awareness about a person that you're meant to be with and then say, but maybe not this lifetime? Do you really believe in reincarnation? If you do, all right, I can see where that's no big deal to you. At the same time, I don't think so. Even if I did believe in reincarnation, there's no way in hell I'm risking that I might be a butterfly in the next lifetime and they might not even be they might be a worm, but they could also be a person. Like we might not actually be able to be together somehow. There's no way. I'm sorry. So again, it doesn't make logical sense. If it's all about the spiritual, esoteric, oh, you know, it's just about the catalyst, that's not what we believe around here because it doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it just because I don't get it. I'm telling you, I wanted to know. And I spent years researching it. And everything I found that said it doesn't happen this lifetime was just, I don't want to tell you, but it kind of was coming from a place of scams. I'm sorry. It would be better to be around someone who just doesn't believe in it at all, who would tell you, oh, it's just a scam. It'd be better to hear them say that than to listen to some of the things these people are telling you and saying, no, I promise, I've got the lowdown on twin flames. Because it's always the most weird, confusing, contradictory information. There's never a right way. You're always the one that's wrong. And then when I come in and I do a message like this, and I'm giving coaches to the divine feminines out there who are looking for seeking transformation energy and all that, I look like the bad guy to everybody, every group. You've got to get real with yourself about what you believe. Why would divine create anything for no purpose at all? You can say, oh, well, what if divine just created the butterflies just to be beautiful? But divine didn't. Butterflies have a purpose. Everything does. Every single element, being, creature, whatever you want to call, is connected to something else. There's not a single thing in this world that doesn't have and serve a divine purpose. Now, sure, maybe the snakes that were not invasive in one country were brought to another country and now they appear to serve no purpose. I understand that things like that can happen. But those snakes were brought there. Divine didn't create them to be in the Everglades. Divine created them to be where they were supposed to be. Someone brought them there. I don't want you to get distracted by who brought what. I want you to think about the fact that you were designed for a divine purpose and so was your person. Why would divine create your person to not be able to withstand a little rain? Ha! Storms. Now I get it. What's on the bottom? Oh man, the illusions. Oh, wow. And the spiral. Oh, man. I think that we've all been duped in some way in our spiritual path and our spiritual journey. And we'll probably be duped again by people who, again, maybe our discernment will be off and someone will slip in. Maybe it'll be accidental, whatever. It's going to happen. It's okay. But this is not something that you want to just hold on to all the same beliefs you had in the beginning, especially if you're just more and more confused, more and more frustrated, more and more unhappy, and more distrusting of someone that deep down in your soul, you know they're not evil. They're not bad. They deserve love. They deserve to be treated better. They need to step their game up. They need to be a better person. Sure, all that's true. But really? Next lifetime? Why? Why all this pain? Why? There is truth. You just got to ask the right questions. All right, friends, final message here. What does Divine Masculine want you to understand? Oh, the Three of Swords. Everything they did was from a place of pain. I just realized something. I can't see my screen. Uh-oh. Y'all, I'm sorry. I just realized that I have no idea if you could even see the screen the whole time I was just recording, or if it even recorded at all. Something about this message just cannot be given to, I don't, oh my gosh, that is so, and now my, really? Wow. Really? Did you hear that? Like a deep cough. I can't even remember the last time I coughed. Y'all, let me finish this and be done, because this is getting ridiculous now. Now I'm like, what are the odds that a couple weeks ago I started delivering just straight, I'm not scared anymore. I'm going to deliver this. I'm going to go for this message. And they're, at this point, they're just deleting it. They're just stopping it. Oh. Divine Masculine wants you to understand that everything that they have done was from a place of pain and hurt and trauma. It's not an excuse. And it's not even, this isn't even an apology. I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you, you must understand that it was never to hurt you. And even when they knew that it could happen, in their mind, it was so sick and twisted that they might tell themselves, oh, she's magical, she can handle it. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So, y'all. Biggest thing you're missing. They are no longer going to keep you out of their life, out of their energy, out of the truth. They're tired. That's what put them on the hangman tree. And that is the epiphany that they had that got them off and is allowing them to sweep away and get rid of all the stuff that doesn't serve them. I hope this is a major blessing to whoever was supposed to get this message. And frankly, the storms, the butterfly, the rain, like, there is so much that if you don't see this video in its entirety, I think that you are going to do yourself a disservice and miss a lot. But also, I don't know how much got cut out. And that is so incredibly frustrating. But that just goes to show you that there is an attack on twin flames, an attack on divine partners, an attack on sacred partnership. That's why the dating scene is the way that it is, the world the way that it is towards each other and couples, and everything's all screwed up. That's one of the biggest things that can be done, is to destroy the power of those who are meant to come together to create an expansion. Not to go and add yourself here or put yourself there, but to expand, just like in the twin flame contract. From the very beginning of my twin flame ministry, I was told that's what we do. 1 + 1 is 2 in most cases, but in twin flames, 1 + 1 is 11. Please, whatever you're meant to get out of this, don't miss the message, don't miss the memo, and don't miss the multi parts of it, because it's going to be easy to not watch the whole thing. All right, I'm just going to make sure that I get this out to you, though. I love you. I will talk to you later. Hopefully this is still recording, yeah? Oh, if you made it all the way to the end, which, geez Louise, right? Welcome to my channel. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted. I hope that you like it here. It's a weird place. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding. But we're definitely a different bunch, a different breed, and we're twin flames who believe in reunion. And many of my clients are in reunion, in pseudo union. Many of my clients are in contact. That's another reason it's going to be tough to be around here sometimes. Is our readings aren't just for no contact, obsessed twin flames. Most of my clients aren't really like that. And when someone who is in that place finds this energy and actually decides to stick around or work with me as a client, it's because that was never their energy. Yeah, they might have got a little obsessed, they might have acted up, da 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 da, but the whole time it was happening, they were like, this isn't me. So if that's you, welcome. Yeah, we're a little different around here. Yeah, I'm here to kind of screw things up for the twin flame readers who are trying to lie and all that. But at the same time, you don't got to worry about being mixed up in that. Every so often, I got to talk about it. Every so often, I got to bring people to awareness. But most of the time on this channel, we're going to be talking about divine masculines, helping you understand the masculine perspective, helping you understand, men in general, or again, masculine energy. And my divine masculine, Mr. Lightwork, he posts love letters on this channel and on his channels. And he and I have all kinds of beautiful discussions about divine partnership, and he's coming from a place of where a lot of these DMs are. He's still evolving, and because I'm always evolving, it's going to be very hard for him to ever catch up. But there is something that was revealed in this reading that showed us exactly how that happens, and our goal is to make sure that we're not blocking it and to accept that at some point they're going to realize they have been. So if you're interested in working together, this is my specialty. This is what I do. I've been doing it for a long time and I'm damn good at it. If you'd like to have a coaching session, if you'd like to build that business that you and your DM are supposed to start together, but you know full well they're not going to start it, so you're going to have to start it. Yeah, all that. Yeah, I got you. I have cheap courses. I say cheap because I made them to be cheap. I made them to be able to get something off the ground and get it running. I'm not charging you $10,000. I might charge you $10 for a module. I think if you got all my courses and all my electronic stuff, like my digital stuff, you might pay $1,000 for every single thing I offer. And I have hundreds of things that I offer on the channel. So I want you to know something. You don't need that stuff. You can just watch on my videos on my channel. I keep them free for a reason. Most people, when a reading like this would happen, they'd go, oh, you know what? Since I have to do extra work, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make people pay $5 to watch the rest of my reading. I don't like doing stuff like that, but I do have bonuses. I do have exclusive readings. I do have love letters that cannot be shown to the collective because they are not for everybody. That's the kind of stuff that I'm saying. If you ever need anything more, I've got it. But if you just want to talk, I really think that that's one of my best offerings is tarot readings and phone calls over the phone. You can also get a recording, certainly, but I feel like having a chance to talk to someone about this journey is something most people are not afforded. I was not, and I almost lost myself. That's why I'm here. And that's why I keep my prices affordable. All I need to make sure is that my rent is paid and that my internet is paid. Essentially, I don't have a car. I don't have any bills. I don't have any human contact other than Mr. Lightwork. I have gone a little too far into the deep end with this. And at the same time, knowing that I'm saving people's lives in some cases, but also helping people start their dreams and everything in between, I love it. Like I genuinely feel alive and I want you to feel that way too. So whether it's by watching, go ahead and click subscribe, or whether it's by working with me in the future, let me know what you need. If you've got a question, if you want me to do a reading on something, leave a comment at the end. I want you to leave a butterfly and a sword and a thundercloud. If you've got emojis, butterfly, sword, thundercloud. Remember that we are all equipped with everything we need to survive and beyond, and there's no need to be afraid. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Peace.